Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Since we're in 2024 and we've got Star Wars Outlaws releasing apparently late 2024, I thought it would be a good idea to look back on the last 12 months of Star Wars games. So if you're new, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. So guys, let's get into it and let's look over the last 12 months of Star Wars games. Now, in December we had the Game Awards, and this is a bit embarrassing actually, but Star Wars didn't make a single appearance there at all. Like, literally there was nothing at the Game Awards for Star Wars games.
It ought to be here, but it isn't.
Now, we only had one Star Wars game actually release in 2023, which was Jedi Survivor, which was definitely up there for one of the games of the entire year and arguably one of the best Star Wars games ever made. So what else did we actually get in 2023 for Star Wars games? Obviously Jedi Survivor was the only official release, but let's actually take a look at the games that were already out in 2023, the games that we were able to play, and let's see if it was good or bad. Now first up we've got Battlefront 2, and man, this is still such a fun game to play. And EA made a really big mistake by cancelling the live service on this game, especially when you look at the end result, which was so they could focus on Battlefield 2042, which is, from what I hear, an absolutely terrible game. I've seen little bits and honestly it doesn't make sense, like justifiable sense, that EA would stop the support on this game that had such an amazing redemption story for a game that is completely broken and was a complete flop. Now, to me, it's a complete missed opportunity from EA, especially from a financial standpoint, because if you think about all the content we could have got from all the Disney Plus series that we've had, you know, the Kenobi series, the Book of Boba Fett, the Ahsoka series, the Bad Batch, and the Mandalorian, there's so much content we could have got added to this game, and it could have been the best Star Wars game that has ever been made. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately, and it's a real big shame because the chances of Battlefront 3 are really, really low. Like, it's probably a no-brainer for that's the next step. You know, we've got Outlaws coming out, which I'm sure will be a really good game, but people aren't anywhere near as excited for it because there's no live service online game anywhere. Like, there's no new content anywhere unless you're a PC player that downloads mods. You know, as a console player, there's next to nothing apart from obviously the same routine every time you play. And that means the player numbers have dropped quite significantly. So a lot of the time, there's a lot of empty lobbies or it takes a long time to get a game at all. I do still have a lot of fun playing this game, and I really do hope that one day we get a Battlefront 3, or at least someone reopens the live service for Battlefront 2 so it can, you know, get its full potential and be the game it should have always been. Next up, we got Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now this game was pushed back quite a bit and delayed quite a lot, but that being said, I do actually really enjoy playing this game. It's kind of relaxing, like in a weird way. You can just put your feet up and just have fun with it, and you don't have to worry about, you know, sort of online competition or like big boss battles that are like do multiple tries to beat. You can just enjoy it for what it is. It does have quite a few goofy moments, I won't lie, and that is actually quite a welcoming thing. Again, to have that sort of relaxed feel about a Star Wars game is something I think is really important. Like, I know it's a Lego game and it is basically for kids, but one thing I will say is that it's such a beautiful looking game and you do have a lot of fun with it. And the fact that you can go across all 9 films, again, I think is a really good thing that they've done. And you can pick which trilogy you want to start on. I mean, for me, personally, I start on the prequels and make my way through because I'm a prequel kid, you know, that was my Star Wars films when I was growing up. And that's another thing as well, it does have a very nostalgic feel to it. You know, it takes me straight back to the mid-2000s when I was, 8 years old playing the original Lego Star Wars games. Like, these were games that I loved so much and I had so many fun memories playing as a kid, like with my friends or even on my own. Like, I just loved playing those games. So for me to have this, but like with better graphics and across all 9 films, is a really welcoming thing. And to be honest, for a Lego game, it actually has an impressive amount of content. Like, just listen to this for a second. There are 13 downloadable content packs in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. 13 packs! That's crazy for a game that already has an immense amount of content. I especially love using the Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 character packs because you just can't beat playing as these fan favorite characters. Another thing that they added to the game, which I do really love, is the classic character pack. It's something they didn't have to do at all, but they wanted people like me that played the games back in the mid-2000s to feel that extra hit of nostalgia by giving us what the characters looked like back in the day. But also it shows the new upcoming Star Wars fans that this is what they were, and now this is what they are now. This game just has something for everyone. If you're a fan of the prequels, it has content for that. If you're a fan of the original trilogy, it has content for that. If you like the sequels, it has content for that. It's got content everywhere. If you enjoy Rebels or the Clone Wars or the Book of Boba Fett or the Kenobi series, it has everything that you'd possibly want. I do think this is a game that really thinks about the fans and how some people like different things, and it's decided to just add everything it's got and just let people have fun with it. And you don't even have to do the missions if you don't want to. You can select a character and just go exploring. I do think this game is definitely worth picking up. You can have a lot of fun with it. Next up, we have Star Wars Squadrons, which I won't lie, I did actually kind of forget about, to be completely honest. Not that it's a bad game or anything, I do think it's a cinematically beautiful game, but I think it just came at the wrong time. It got released fresh off the back of EA cancelling the live service for Battlefront 2, so it was really bad timing. And I won't lie, it only caters to a certain market. So this game isn't for everyone, and it doesn't exactly reach out to the wider audience of Star Wars fans. And this game could have been good. Like, it has VR support, and like I said earlier, it's a cinematically gorgeous game. So what went wrong with it? Well, the single player campaign is shallow, and the multiplayer is kind of a mess. There was a lot of bugs that needed fixing, and it kind of got stale and boring quite quickly. You know, it's first person only, it's set around only one timeline, which is obviously the original trilogy, but there was no like additional campaign or any option to like switch between the different eras in Star Wars. I think there could have been a really good opportunity here if you could have switched to third person, but also had the choice in timeline. So if you wanted to go in the prequel era and fight in the Clone Wars, you know, in a space battle, maybe like the battle above Coruscant, you could do that. I think that would add to the game a lot. I think the thing about Squadrons is that no one really asked for it in the first place. It wasn't like on the list of games that people had been longing for and wanting, you know, so it was kind of just a meh game. Like, maybe I'll come to it, let's see what it's like, and then never really go near it again. Obviously, there will be people out there that enjoy these types of games, you know, like that Top Gun style of video game. For people that do enjoy that sort of thing, they probably had a blast playing this game. But again, like I said earlier, it just kind of got stale. Like, when I played it, I did enjoy it for the most part, but I got bored of it very quickly. And the live service was stopped about 2 years ago, which again isn't a good sign for the game's popularity. Next up, we've got the mobile game Galaxy of Heroes, which does currently have live service, and it has actually been running for 8 years now. It is quite popular, and I actually did kind of enjoy it when I played it, but it's just not my sort of thing for a long term. It is a very simple game. You know, you get a character and you do battles, and the more battles you win, the more you can level up your characters and go up against harder opponents. The game does have a lot of characters and a lot of content in it. For a mobile game, it is actually quite impressive. You know, being able to play as Legends of the Old Republic, especially characters like Revan, is something I have wanted to do since Knights of the Old Republic, you know. So it's really good that we've been able to get things like this. But again, it's a bit similar to Squadrons, where it only appeals to a certain market of players. So again, this game isn't for everyone. So 2023 wasn't the best year for Star Wars games, like, at all. We only got one game release, but thank God it was Jedi Survivor. You know, that was definitely one of the games of the year, and probably one of the best Star Wars games in my opinion. If you agree, let me know in the comments. Also, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what your favorite Star Wars game is, not just of recent time, but of all time. For me, one of my favorites of all time is the Revenge of the Sith game. on PS2. I loved that game. After all these years, it's still a game I come back to and play. I love the fact that you can storm the Jedi Temple as Anakin. And I love the fact that you can face Obi-Wan on Mustafar and win, and it shows an alternative ending to the Revenge of the Sith story. But that is it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to let me know down below in the comments, out of all of the Star Wars games I've mentioned in today's video, which one is your favorite. And I will see you in the next one.